Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Piro, and today I'm going to be reading you a story about the giant jelly bean jar. And this is one of my favorite books because I love jelly beans, number one, and this book has riddles in it. And a riddle is when someone gives you clues and you have to guess what they're trying to tell you what that might be. So, for example, in here we're going to have clues about jelly beans and we're going to have to guess what flavor the jelly bean is. Okay, let's start. The giant jelly bean jar. The author is Marcy Abbott and Paige Billings Fry. Ben loved jelly beans. He loved going to JoJo's jelly bean shop. Every weekend, JoJo had a contest. JoJo read a riddle and said, "Guess which jelly bean flavor is going to be the answer to my riddle?" The person with the right answer won a jar full of jelly beans. Every Saturday, Ben went to JoJo's shop with his sister Jill. "Yum," Ben said. "Today I'm going to win that jar." "You say that every week," Jill said. It was hard to win the prize. You had to say the answer in a loud voice, and you had to say it in front of everyone in the store. Ben always knew the right answer to JoJo's riddle, but he never won the jelly bean prize. "You're too shy," Jill said every week. She told him to raise his hand up high and speak up. "Okay," said Ben quietly. Inside JoJo's shop, Ben and Jill passed the jars full of jelly beans. There were apple jelly beans. There were bubblegum jelly beans and grape jam jelly beans, and there were even popcorn jelly beans. JoJo stepped out in front of the counter. "Hello, my friends," he called out, and the kids cheered. "Here's this week's jelly bean riddle," JoJo said. "I am a long yellow fruit with skin you peel back. I'm tasty with breakfast, and I make a great snack." Can you guess what kind of jelly bean flavor that is? The kids waved their hands high in the air. Ben saw Jill raise her hand, and he raised his hand too. But he was very nervous. He saw the biggest kid. He heard the loudest kids. Ben lowered his hand. JoJo looked at all the children. He pointed to Jill. "Banana!" cried Jill. "You are right," JoJo said. "We have a jelly bean princess." "Oh, nuts," Ben said to himself. "I knew the answer too." "Here, Ben," Jill said. She gave him some jelly beans. "I'll share my prize with you, Ben." But Ben did not say anything. He wanted to answer the jelly bean riddle himself. The next Saturday, Ben and Jill went back to JoJo's shop. "Who's ready to be this week's winner?" JoJo asked. Everyone cheered. "Guess this jelly bean flavor," JoJo said. "I am a big round pie with cheese and sauce too. A slice would be nice. How many for you?" Can you guess that jelly bean flavor? Jill whispered, "Go for it, Ben." Ben raised his hand. This time he did not lower it. But there was another boy whose hand was higher. Jojo pointed to the boy instead of Ben. "Pizza!" the boy shouted. "Right," said Jojo. "Here is a jelly bean jar for my new jelly bean prince." "Oh, nuts," Ben said to himself. "Not again." Ben and Jill walked home together. "Don't worry, Ben," Jill said. "Next time you'll win for sure." The next Saturday, Ben and Jill went to Jojo's shop again. But this week was different. It was special. Jojo's jelly bean shop had been open for 1 year. Jojo was having a big party. The store was more crowded than ever. Jojo stepped out from behind the counter, raised a very, very big jar of jelly beans over his head. Everyone cheered. "Who will be my grand prize winner today?" he asked. The kids waved their hands up high. "Me, me," they all called out. Ben just looked at the jelly bean jar. It was the biggest jar he had ever seen. He listened carefully to Jojo's riddle. "I am yummy with jelly, and I can be spooned from a jar. Between slices of bread, I'm a true sandwich star." And if you look, he's already thinking what it is. Ben knew the answer right away. This time he lifted his hand up high. Then he looked at the jar again. He raised his hand a little higher, and then he raised it as high as he could. He even stood on his tippy toes. Jojo looked out at the crowd. He pointed to Ben. Ben was so surprised he forgot the answer to the riddle. Everyone waited for Ben to speak, but he didn't say anything. Some people started to wave their hands again. "Me, me," they shouted. Ben still did not say anything. Jill looked at the crowd. Then she looked at Ben. She lifted up her foot. She stomped right on Ben's toes. "Oh, nuts!" Ben said out loud. "Nuts, nuts," Ben thought. "Peanut," he whispered. Then Ben remembered the answer to the riddle, and in a big loud voice he yelled, "Peanut butter!" "Yes," Jill shouted. "Yes," Jojo cried. Jojo placed a sparkling crown on Ben's head, handed Ben the great big jelly bean jar prize. "How does it feel to be the grand prize jelly bean king?" Jill asked Ben. "Great," Ben said loud and clear. He did not feel one bit nervous. On the way home, Jill patted Ben on the back. "You did it," he said. Ben grinned. "Thank you for stepping on my toes," he said. Jill grinned back. That's what sisters are for. The end. I hope you enjoyed this book, and I hope to read to you again soon. Okay? Great. Have a wonderful day.